Westuhal min freon and welcome to yet another video. It's here, my friends. I promised you I would do it, and it is here. The joint reviews of Obi-Wan Kenobi episodes 1 and 2, because both of them came out at the same time. And please be aware of the fact that there are going to be major spoilers, so if you do not want the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show to be spoiled for you, please leave, watch the episodes, and come back. Now, we have all predicted it. And I myself have said that I think that Obi-Wan Kenobi is going to be turned into the sequel trilogy Luke Skywalker 2.0. And it has indeed happened. Now, first, I should probably point out the positives about these two episodes, because there are, well, much fewer positives than there are negatives. The biggest positive is the very beginning of episode 1, in which we've got a couple of minutes sequence in which they summarize everything that has happened since episode 1 to episode 3 between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, which is just a reel of one of the best scenes between Anakin and Obi-Wan from the first time they meet until the last time they meet. So this reel of the prequel trilogy I liked very much. And then there was a short scene from the Jedi Temple when the clone troopers were executing Order 66. And we have always wanted to see more of the Order 66, being executed on screen. So that was okay. These two things were, of course, fantastic. Now, if you have been Star Wars fans, my friends, which is being the fans of the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy, you know that Obi-Wan Kenobi was supposed to be hidden on Tatooine for 20 years, keeping an eye on Luke Skywalker. And because he's such a great Jedi Master, he used all his skills and the Force and all his experience and all his talent to stay hidden away from the Empire, away from any potential evil Force users or the users of the dark side of the Force from being able to find him. Until, of course, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker meet in episode 4. And we've got this beautiful, legendary sentence, "Hello there," or Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's a name I haven't heard in a long time. Sir Alec Guinness, right? No, it's not so, because this was done by Disney. And Disney enjoys deconstructing things. Disney enjoys destroying things that we all love. But in this case, I'm not sure if it was 100% intentional. I just think that the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV show was written by a bunch of chimpanzees. Now I just remembered one more positive. There's, of course, Ewan McGregor. And it is always awesome to look at Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi, who, of course, in this is a destroyed, depressed man with a post-traumatic stress disorder syndrome. And he, of course, has abandoned the way of the Jedi. He hid his lightsaber in the middle of the desert. He buried it in sand. He's absolutely broken. And you could argue, yes, this is understandable. After all he has gone through in episode 3, after his pupil getting to the dark side of the Force, and the majority of the Jedi being murdered brutally by the clone troopers, with whom he, in the Clone Wars, had very, very close relationships. And many of the clone troopers became Obi-Wan Kenobi's friends, so we could understand that he's feeling bad, yes. But he was assigned to learn to communicate with Qui-Gon Jinn by Master Yoda, because Qui-Gon Jinn was the first Jedi in the history of the Order to be able to become the Force ghost and communicate with Force-sensitive beings from beyond the grave. Well, 10 years have passed. And what has Obi-Wan Kenobi done? Well, nothing. He's got lazy, he's got sloppy, he hasn't been practicing the Force, he hasn't been practicing with his lightsaber, he hasn't been apparently trying very much to learn how to communicate with Qui-Gon Jinn. He has become a meat packer whose entire day consists of moping around, packing meat from a giant, I suppose it was a giant sand fish that was lying there for weeks and didn't show any signs of rotting. And then he observed Luke from distance from time to time. He's being insulted by Jawas that he smells. And that's everything he's been doing until one day the Inquisitors come. Oh yes, the Grand Inquisitor and the third sister and the fifth brother. And they are looking for escaped Jedi who were able to survive the Order 66. And of course, there is this snarky third sister who is trying to defy the orders of her superiors, such as the Grand Inquisitor, and enjoys torturing everybody and wants to kill everybody just so she can find Obi-Wan Kenobi, because she seems to be obsessed with Obi-Wan Kenobi, and there is this theory that she wants to find Obi-Wan because she wants to be Darth Vader's favorite. Well, of course, there have been leaks and predictions that in the end she is going to be the virtuous one and not really the evil one, because Disney can't really make any proper POC villains because they are afraid. I don't know why. If the third sister remained this kind of a villainy woman, I would be okay with it. But no, I think she's going to be the virtuous one in the end. Now, there are so many other plot holes. There are so many other inconsistencies within the script that I can only come to the conclusion that the script was written by a bunch of chimpanzees. How come, my friends, that nobody could find Obi-Wan Kenobi, and especially not the Inquisitors, even though he was hidden just a couple of meters away from them, but he was able to be found by a common, random, not that very powerful Jedi in the middle of Tatooine, in the middle of the night, out of nowhere. How come, my friends, that the third sister, now very, very big spoilers, bloody killed the Grand Inquisitor in the end of the first episode? Or was it the second? Yeah. It was at the end of the second episode. When we know that the Grand Inquisitor was alive in the Rebels TV show. So there you go. They are destroying their own canon because the Rebels are considered to be a Disney canon. And if they are going to somehow make the Grand Inquisitor survive, well, he died the same way, or he was injured the same way Qui-Gon Jinn was injured in episode 1. He was stabbed in the belly with a lightsaber. So how come that one of the most powerful Jedi in the history, and certainly a Jedi who was a master in the connection with the living force, wasn't able to survive a stab in the belly with a red lightsaber where the Grand Inquisitor would be? Now that is something I do not understand at all. And there are other things as well. Why did they make this a TV show about Princess Leia? Pray tell me. Well, this is also one of the biggest mistakes there, and one of the greatest inconsistencies as far as the entire original and prequel trilogy. How come Obi-Wan Kenobi left Tatooine in the first bloody episode, when he was supposed to be hidden on Tatooine, waiting for his time so he can start teaching Luke Skywalker the ways of the Force? Well, of course they had to make the Force female, because Kathleen Kennedy wants it. And it really is happening. That which we have predicted. Obi-Wan Kenobi is being slowly put into the back seat, and the female characters are taking the front seat. The badly and poorly written third sister, or Riva, and Princess Leia, a 10-year-old girl who is outsmarting and outwitting everybody around her, starting with her cousins that are older than her, continuing with her father, Bail Organa, adoptive father, sorry, which of course was also one of the positives, because it was very nice to see the actor who portrayed Bail Organa in the prequel trilogy here, so that was quite nice. And who was able to outsmart even Obi-Wan Kenobi when he rescued her from the grasp of the people that were hired by the third sister. And there are many inconsistencies like that. I could be naming and explaining on and on and on, but these were my main gripes, and I don't want this video to be overly too long. The greatest crimes against Star Wars is firstly that this show even exists, but more specifically, it contradicts so many things that you can't believe it. Not only does it contradict and deconstruct both the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy and the Rebels, but also it deconstructs and itself within one bloody episode. There was this Jedi that I was talking about on Tatooine at the beginning of the episode that was being pursued by the Inquisitors. And they didn't kill him for some reason, they just let him escape. He threw a bloody cloth balcony on them, or in their way. And they weren't able to, walk around it and catch him. And the Grand Inquisitor didn't allow the third sister to kill him, the Jedi. But then just a couple of scenes later, they just randomly kill the Jedi without possibly interrogating him. And if they were able to interrogate him, they would find out where Obi-Wan Kenobi is, and that he is on Tatooine, because he had spoken with Obi-Wan Kenobi before they caught him. So the death of that random Jedi just served as a very poor plot device to make Obi-Wan Kenobi leave Tatooine, to realize that, oh yes, I must go save Leia Organa. And that's one more thing. How come that Bail Organa can call Obi-Wan Kenobi? How come that Bail Organa knows the exact bloody location on Tatooine where Obi-Wan Kenobi is hiding? Nobody is supposed to know where Obi-Wan Kenobi is. And I think that the Empire, the Emperor, and Darth Vader, of all people, know that Bail Organa is very pro-Jedi senator, and that he was a friend of the Jedi, and that he was specifically a friend of Obi-Wan Kenobi and Master Yoda. Wouldn't they keep an eye on him just a little bit? Wouldn't they, bug all his calls? Wouldn't they follow him? Wouldn't they find Obi-Wan Kenobi through Bail Organa if he had a direct bloody calling link to Obi-Wan? If he went to visit him on Tatooine? This is a huge plot hole. This is a major one. And there are many things like that. This is a plot hole next to a plot hole next to a plot hole. No, my friends. And besides that, even if we look past everything that I've just said, why would we watch something that was done by Disney when we know that they can only destroy and deconstruct? And even if somebody told me, don't worry, man, this is really going to be good, they are keeping George Lucas in honor. They are honoring George. They are honoring the old Lucasfilm. They are honoring the canon of the original trilogy and the prequels. I would still watch it with unease in my heart, because every time you watch a Disney show, you are afraid, because you know that they are going to mess something up, and you're just waiting, basically waiting in fear. What is going to happen that will destroy the canon? All right, that will be all. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. I, of course, haven't spoken about everything, but as I said, this video will be an hour long. And that will be all. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm out of here.